Hey everybody, welcome to Miss Terry's 52 Cupcake Recipe Challenge. Today we are doing I don't know what I want to call it. It's like a chocolate with the raspberry mousse inside. I've used several different chocolates here in this recipe. It's almost like a death by chocolate cupcake too, if you will. Let me tell you how I made it. So for the cupcake itself, I used 1¼ cups of flour. I used a 1/4 cup of the unsweetened Hershey's cocoa, and I used a cup of sugar and a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Mixed all those dry ingredients up, and then in my KitchenAid I mixed 2 large eggs, a half a cup of buttermilk, and a half a cup of olive oil. And I put in a teaspoon of vanilla extract and a teaspoon of hazelnut extract. And I tell you, this is so fudgy, yummy. I also made this chocolatier. I melted with 2 tablespoons of buttermilk, actually. I melted down this chocolate bar here and got it all whipped up and melted together, stirring in the buttermilk and the chocolate together. And then I added that to the batter to give it that more pop of a chocolate flavor. So this was the milk chocolate also that I added. So then I filled my cupcakes. I preheated my oven at 350 degrees. And these are so fudgy good. I had to bake these for 17 minutes, so I did bake them 17 minutes exactly. And then what I did after these were baking, I took a whole bag of these semi-sweet morsels here, and I mixed it with 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. First, though, I just used 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, and then I added the semi-sweet morsels in here, and then I microwaved it for about 40 seconds. And then I stirred it to melt the chocolates, and then I think I had to microwave it for another 20 seconds, and then stirred it and got all my chips melted in here. And then after the chips were all melted, I added the other cup of heavy whipping cream. And then I added 2 teaspoons of raspberry extract and 2 tablespoons of confectionery sugar. And then I mixed it with my electric mixer. Probably mixed it for about 3 minutes or so. And then I poured it in my bowl and put it in the refrigerator. And I tell you, I have a really nice chocolatey mousse here. Like scoops out like ice cream, and it's so good. So this is like a raspberry mousse. So then what I did, after these cooled, I took my scooper, the same scooper here, and I hollowed out a hole in the center, because I'm actually going to scoop the same amount of this yummy raspberry mousse inside the cupcake itself. So that's how we're going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and put them in. The raspberry mousse is inside. Yum! So when you bite into this, you're going to have so many chocolatey, yummy flavors going on. Yum! So we have the mousse in the cupcake itself. So next, I took my icing, and you can see it's a lighter chocolate here. I mixed 2 sticks of butter, salted butter, and I mixed 3 cups of confectionery sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I put a teaspoon of the almond extract. The almond extract, you don't have to, but I love the almond extract in chocolate. I just think it gives it this really silky, creamy flavor, if you will. I simply love it. So I mixed all of those ingredients up, and then I took 2 tablespoons of the heavy whipping cream and mixed it in with my this was actually a dark chocolate, even though it doesn't look dark in here, and it's lightened up because of the butter in the confectionery sugar. But this was a bittersweet chocolate, so it was 60% cocoa. So I melted this down in the microwave again in a bowl with the 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream. And after my icing was all mixed up, I then poured this in it. This was cool because I didn't want it to melt the butter. But what I have is the chocolate itself is almost mousse, like a mousse. It's so fluffy and so yummy. So I'm just going to go ahead and pipe some of this on our cupcake here. Nothing fancy, just pipe it on there. And voila, this is a good chocolate cupcake, I have to say. If you want to, you can top it with raspberry. I've also melted down some of these little white chocolate chips here that I had in my pantry, and I thought, well, let's just add another chocolate while we're at it. So I melted it down with, I used about a half a bag, so I only took like a tablespoon of the heavy whipping cream and melted it down. It's still a little bit warm, so I'm a little nervous putting it on, but I'm going to go ahead. So just for decoration, you can drizzle the chocolate on the cupcake too. So there you go. You have an additional chocolate on your cupcake there. So you have like, I think you have like 5 different chocolates going on here. Different chocolate flavors going on with the cupcake. So this is cupcake number 44. We only have 8 more to go. Oh my gosh. But I'm going to taste this. I'm telling you guys, I know it's going to be good. It's going to be amazing. It's yummy. It's so, I almost feel soft, I think, because of the mousse inside. It's going to be ooey gooey good. Stuck to my paper just a little bit. They need to cool a little bit more. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes. Ooey gooey good. You got, there's so many different flavors. The raspberry really pops out. The chocolate icing on top is like a mousse as well. This is a good cupcake. If you like chocolate, you have to make this cupcake. Yum. So this is another recipe, me giving to you. Give it a try. I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you next week for next week's recipe share. Thanks now. Bye.